Welcome back. At 5, we showed you a peek of how the world feels from the perspective of the ADHD mind and the behaviors most often visible to those without it. In tonight's second part of our special report on the ADHD struggle, Fox 44's Gary Ainsworth sat down with one of the nation's leading experts on ADHD and looks at the importance of treating it, going even deeper into the mind that's always on fast forward.
Living with ADHD is no walk in the park. I remember the struggles I had when I was diagnosed at 11 and all the years of fine-tuning my medication to reach the optimal effect. And medical professionals say just being in a treatment plan is more important than how it's treated.
The diagnosis of ADHD is most often done in childhood. The reason is usually after parents and teachers recognize a child as being smart, but still underperforming in the classroom. This was the case for me too. When I failed a class in 5th grade with an overall score of a 5, my mother was convinced something was wrong, and I discovered I had ADD. The diagnosis was important, but beginning treatment with medication was just as important, and it gave me the mental clarity I'd never had before.
If you have ADHD and it's untreated, it impacts you negatively academically, in terms of your ability to succeed. It impacts you in your job as an adult.
ADHD is a biological disorder. It's something we're born with and has no cure, and saying it isn't there will not make it go away. But it can easily be managed, almost always, through prescription medications.
The majority of people that are diagnosed with ADHD as young kids are on ADHD medications through their academic career. And after your academic career, it's somewhere like 50-50. And a lot of that depends on what your job is.
For ADHD brains, stimulant medications work, and most often work well. But fine-tuning the dosage is a vital component of that treatment method.
The amount you need has very little to do with how old you are, how much you weigh, or how severe the symptoms are. It's how sensitive is your body to it.
Psychologist Dr. Thomas E. Brown has studied ADHD for over 3 decades. He runs the Brown ADHD Clinic in Los Angeles, and he's authored numerous books and given hundreds of lectures on ADHD worldwide. Dr. Brown is among the leading authorities on the disorder, and he says there's no one-size-fits-all prescription.
So the fine-tuning of the medication dosing for stimulants, is something that it really has to be done for each person.
Even though each case has the same disorder, each person's own biology makes it a challenge.
It's a problem with the chemistry of the brain that makes it a little more difficult to get some routine things done if the medicine they're taking is fine-tuned for it.
So how does it all work? Well, in short, the medication allows our brains to bring everything into focus. But ADHD focus is probably not like you're thinking it is. It's more like the focus used when driving a car.
When you're driving your car, noticing what's going on in your rearview mirror, your side view. It's that kind of focus where we have to often be aware of several different things at the same time. People with ADHD, it is incredibly difficult for them to be able to make themselves pay attention unless the task is something that's really interesting. Or if they feel they have a gun to their head and it's something they think of as very unpleasant. Under those two conditions, it changes the chemistry of the brain, and the problem is it is not under voluntary.
And having a mind you can't control, there needs to be some kind of guidance. Because without it, Dr. Brown says, it's like trying to run a marathon wearing a backpack full of bricks.
You can do it, but you have to work a lot harder. So the results you get aren't anywhere near what they would be for somebody else with the same ability and the same amount of effort. You just didn't have to carry the bricks.
Life with ADHD isn't the hardest thing in the world, but it can at times be a pretty large hurdle for those of us with it. If you'd like to get more information on ADHD, you can visit our website, fox44news.com, for a list of websites, YouTube channels, books, and forums that specifically deal with ADD and ADHD. For Fox 44 News, I'm Gary Ainsworth.